The San Diego Chargers began the 1986 season with the most explosive opening day performance in franchise history. San Diego rushed for more than 200 yards, piled up 500 yards in total offense, and rang up 50 points to hand Miami Dolphins head coaching legend Don Shula the most lopsided defeat of his career.
Fouts back to pass, looks to the right side, Anderson with a catch at the 15, sideline, 5, leaps in the end zone, touchdown. I saw it and I don't even believe it.
The gravity-defying Chargers had playoff aspirations soaring as well. But such hopes were soon sent plummeting to earth. Over the next 7 weeks, San Diego failed to win a single game. At the midway point of the season, longtime head coach Don Coryell resigned. But the changing of the guard was remarkably smooth for the team's new head coach, Al Saunders.
The cooperation of the staff and the players and the way they've pulled together in what would normally be very adverse situations. I think anytime there's a coaching change in the middle of the season, it's really difficult to adjust to, especially when we all have such great admiration for the coach that preceded me. So that was very difficult to take over in those situations, but it was very pleasing that everybody pulled together.
Players such as Tim Spencer and Billy Ray Smith found a lot to like about their new coach.
Players appreciate Coach Saunders and what he's done for the team. He is a disciplinarian. He believes in the small things, as he says, attention to detail, and I think that's very good.
Well, the one thing about Al is he tells you exactly what's going on. I mean, he lets you know what he's thinking. He doesn't try to mince any words. He's also a great motivator, probably the best motivator I've had since I played football.
Alan Keith Saunders is the right man at the right time for the job. He is only the third head coach in NFL history to be born outside of the United States. But the sport of football is hardly foreign to one of the brightest young minds in the game today. Al Saunders is ready to lead the team towards a bright future, a future of great promise for the Chargers and their fans. In 1987, Al Saunders begins his first full year in the head coaching fraternity, acutely aware of the agenda set by Chargers owner Alex Spanos, an agenda with goals that team followers have long awaited.
The fans, they've been as loyal to me as I can expect them to be, but I've made a commitment to them, and they know I'm fulfilling that commitment. The only thing that's left to do is to get to the playoffs and then to the Super Bowl.
And the things that we will stress is consistency, a professional attitude towards our approach to the game, and focusing our attention on a day-to-day basis on what we have to do to be successful.
Fundamentals will be stressed on the special teams, where Ralph Mujenko, the number 3 punter in the conference, will strive to help improve San Diego's kick coverage. In addition, the Chargers have the most effective kick stuffer in football, number 72, Jeff Walker, whose 4 blocks led the league. The specialists also plan to increase last year's team fumble recovery total, best in the NFL, and continued improvement is expected from the offensive line, a key to Al Saunders' balanced run-pass strategy. Centers Don Masick and Jim Leonard. Young tackles Jim Lachey and Gary Kowalski. And veteran guards Dennis McKnight and number 77 Sam Clappin will be gearing up to improve the Chargers' running game while still maintaining the team's customary big play personality. An important contributor to such explosiveness will be number 26, Lionel James. 1985's all-purpose yardage league leader. After missing much of last season with injury, James will be a welcome addition, and more productivity should come from number 42, Curtis Adams, who finished the season as the Chargers' second leading rusher. San Diego will look to these players and others with hopes of making the same kind of progress that was accomplished last year on the other side of the line of scrimmage. The Chargers defense, once mocked and maligned, silenced the critics with its finest performance in years. Defensive coordinator Ron Lynn installed a hard-charging gambling system that stuffed halfbacks and sent passers down for the count.
Well, what we're doing this season is we're trying to be more aggressive. We're running more linebacker dogs and safety blitzes and that kind of thing. We just feel as if we're in a position where we need to be able to put pressure on the opponent's passer. If we can't do that, we don't think we're going to have a chance to be successful.
Attack, seek out, and destroy. You know, it's an aggressive style of defense.
Defensive end Lee Williams.
That's the way we want to be epitomized, because I think at this day and time, you can't sit back and play passive and soft, because you guys are too good. They're going to pick you apart. So you got to take your fight to their side of the line.
No one fought harder or more successfully than Williams, number 99, whose perpetual presence in the backfield made him a pain in the pass pocket. Only one other player in the AFC had more quarterback sacks than the 15 logged by Lee Williams. But Lee was hardly a force of one in San Diego's history-making defense. Joined by nose tackles Chuck Ian and rookie Terry Unrein, along with ends Dee Hardison and Earl Wilson, the Chargers' rush rang up a franchise record 62 quarterback sacks. One of the line's brightest stars was number 91, Leslie O'Neal. Thanks to some clever draft day maneuvering, the Chargers traded up and landed one of the most gifted rookies ever to wear team colors. Players like Gil Bird were thrilled with their talented new teammate.
Leslie is extremely quick for a big man. Coming off the line, he poses a lot of problems. We move Leslie around so much that teams can't really get a beat on him and can't double team him a lot. So in one-on-one coverage, we like our chances with Leslie.
Opponents' chances were slim and none against O'Neal, who quickly became one of the league's most exciting performers.
Leslie O'Neal's been a catalyst for us. He's everything we thought he would be. He has, however, surpassed our expectations in terms of being able to play every down. We thought his contribution would be in the area of pass rush, but he's played very well down after down against the run as well as the pass.
I would say that I'm a hustler. I like to be around the ball. I like to make things happen.
O'Neal's accomplishments had an obvious and immediate impact. Although an injury ended his season early, O'Neal's performance was so overwhelming that he was named NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. With luck, Leslie's rehabilitation program will get him back in uniform ahead of schedule. Other newcomers also made an impression on defense. Veteran Woodrow Lowe was joined by inside linebackers Gary Plummer and Thomas Benson, two arrivals who quickly bolstered San Diego's linebacking unit. Benson, number 57, was particularly noticeable as a frequent blitzer in San Diego's aggressive defensive scheme. Hard hits were also a trademark of San Diego's defensive backs. The Chargers' secondary was plagued with injuries all season, yet still managed to inflict equal damage on the opposition. Jeff Dale, Vincey Glenn, Gil Byrd, and Ken Taylor were the starters who not only survived the season's injury bug, but came up with key plays as the Chargers' last line of defense. As the San Diego defensive unit gears up for 1987, it can look back with pride to their major achievement of the season, the stunning win against the Super Bowl-bound Denver Broncos. At hostile Mile High Stadium, the Denver fans were confident of easy victory. But the Chargers quickly wiped the smiles off their faces as consistent offense and timely defense helped pull off the NFL's upset of the year. San Diego's inspired defense forced 5 turnovers as the Chargers held the eventual conference champions to their lowest point total at home since 1968, clinching the victory for good with a game-saving play in the final seconds.
As pressure goes to the end zone, it is intercepted in the end zone by San Diego. And that could well save the victory. Vincey Glenn with his first interception of the year.
It was also the first NFL coaching victory for Al Saunders, a victory neither he or the Chargers will soon forget. In 1986, quarterback Dan Fouts continued on a course that will someday land him in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I got 10 plays in this, huh? Yeah. Okay. At 85 yards and 10 plays, huh? Because once we start scoring, no telling when we'll stop, huh? All right, here we go. Split right open. Split right open. Bronco right. 844 Ricky on White. Ready? Red ball! Red ball! Red ball! 11, that's okay. 11. Set, go. That's a good-looking play there. How about that? Great block. Here you go, Keller. Good job, Kel. Way to fight in there for me, babe. Way to go, Jimmy. No, skin, yeah.
The thing I get the biggest kick out of is just plain winning. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. And if we can win as a result of something I've done, so much the better. The fact that we got that W on the board is all that matters.
By year's end, Dan Fouts became the NFL's #2 all-time passing yardage leader, despite missing 4 games with injuries. One understudy, Tom Flick, filled in during 3 of those games, including San Diego's upset win over the Broncos and a near victory against the playoff-bound Chiefs. San Diego's other quarterback was Mark Herman, whose best performance came during a nationally televised game against the Raiders. He rallied the Chargers from a 3-touchdown deficit, sending the game into overtime with a fourth-quarter touchdown pass to Charlie Joyner. In this, Joyner's 18th and final NFL season, Pro Football's all-time leading receiver said goodbye to the game he had served so well. For nearly 2 decades, this man with the gift of grab had turned back the hands of time. And now, in the twilight of a brilliant career, Charlie Joyner had room for one more milestone, a feat he accomplished in Seattle on October 6th.
2nd and 5. Fouts with high formation back. He's back to pass. Stays strong in the pocket. Delivers up. Joyner's got it, and he's got a new record. That one was the catch that Charlie Joyner wanted for a new NFL career receiving yardage record. And here come the Chargers flooding the field. So now Charlie Joyner is the all-time career reception leader and the all-time yardage reception leader in the National Football League.
Joyner now makes the transition from retired veteran to rookie coach as football's most prolific pass catcher, returns in 1987 to teach the Chargers receivers. Certain to benefit from his knowledge is number 83, Trumaine Johnson, one of Joyner's heir apparents at wide receiver. San Diego's other wideout was number 89, Wes Chandler, who found all kinds of ways to make the big catch. Still another important part of the passing game is number 88, Pete Holohan, with great hands to make catches in traffic and a great arm for throwing the option pass to fellow tight end Kellen Winslow. Kellen's 64 catches indicated he was fully recovered from a serious knee injury.
As I progressed through rehabilitation, I started to realize that it was possible for me to return to the field and to play at a standard that I become accustomed to. That's when I really got excited when I started running and realizing that, hey, it feels good.
It certainly didn't feel good to overmatched linebackers or helpless safeties who found themselves on the business end of a Winslow forearm. Kellen ran roughshod through secondaries, blending his power with graceful, picture-perfect catches.
When I throw the ball to Kellen Winslow, I feel like I'm Magic Johnson throwing the ball into Jabbar in the low post. There's no way he can miss it. He has an ability to fend off defenders, make the one-hand catch if he has to, or the two-hand diving catch, or the high catch, or whatever it is. Great hands. I just don't feel that he's ever going to drop the ball when I throw it to him.
With the arrival of Al Saunders as head coach, Kellen's pass-catching productivity better than doubled. In 1987, Winslow should be even more dangerous when the Chargers put the ball in flight. The disappointing memories of 1986 may soon be a receding vapor to the Chargers, who enter the new season with optimism and aggressive support from team ownership.
I'm a winner in my business. I always have been. My track record speaks for itself. I'm trying to build the same thing in football, and the only way to get there is to get the best talent that's out there.
In linebacker Billy Ray Smith, running back Gary Anderson, and tackle Jim Lachey, the Chargers have three talented young leaders for today and tomorrow.
You know, I've always been a kind of a leadership type person. I like to go out there and get the guys fired up, and you know, when it's third and short, fourth and short, I'd like them to run my way because I think I can get the job done.
AFC sack leader Sean Jones is particularly impressed by the young Chargers tackle.
Jim Lachey, I think he's an excellent player. He's probably an up-and-coming Pro Bowler. And I like playing against him because he brings out the best in you, and that's what they tend to do. You just have to rise to the occasion.
Lachey is a cornerstone on offense. On defense, it is number 54, Billy Ray Smith, who changed positions and quickly rocketed to stardom.
Well, I got to go home. I got to play outside. I mean, playing inside linebacker was fun. I feel like I learned a lot in there. But my position's outside linebacker. Being outside, I just feel like I can help the team so much more from out there.
Among league linebackers, only Lawrence Taylor had more sacks than Smith. But when startling statistics are discussed, one Charger stands above all the rest. The multi-talented Gary Anderson finished 1986 as the team's leading rusher. His 80 pass receptions were the most by any running back in the AFC. And he earned his first Pro Bowl berth, gathering the votes of those who were left in the wake of his jet stream.
Well, I'm not a power runner, obviously. I'm just more of a slicer, a cutter, you know, not a straight ahead runner, but direction kind of runner. I'm not going to run over nobody, but try to go around them.
Anderson is San Diego's most explosive weapon. He has done things never before seen on a football field. He is unlike any other player in the game today. Gary Anderson, a rhapsody in blue and white. And so the Chargers march into 1987, eager to atone for the past and blessed with the players and the determination to achieve such aims. Continued talent acquisition and help from new Director of Football Operations Steve Ortmeyer will be welcomed by Al Saunders as he embarks upon his first full season in charge, a season of promise and hope.
I'm excited about next year. Without getting an off-season and a training camp under his belt and getting things started off the way he wants them started, I think that this team can be as good as there is in the league.
The Chargers have an opportunity, I believe, to be an outstanding football team in the National Football League and a power to be reckoned with.
We're coming together as a team and making progress on a day-to-day basis. We have visions of being an outstanding football team. And we'd like to meet those visions and meet those dreams down the road, and we'd like to meet them early in 1987.